All right, the most difficult arena to play in within the Big East during your time.
Probably, I would say probably in Connecticut, stores. Um, yeah, it was loud, it was rowdy. And then if we went, we play, I think we played a few games in the Civic Center also, always a packed house. So yeah, I would probably say in Connecticut.
Okay. One team that you remember again, obviously within the Big East, that you feel like you just had a game. Didn't matter, what time of year, but throughout your career, you felt like, I'm gonna get mine.
I think St. John's, just because, I was from Brooklyn and I went to school in Queens, close to St. John's. And it was it was kind of they always had a lot of players from the area, just from New York City that you knew and wanted to compete against. And so I don't know if I always had great games against them, but I just knew that every time we played St. John's, I was always pumped up and ready to play.
Yep. And this question is probably going to be difficult. There's probably a ton. Obviously, the talent in the Big East during your time. Was there a matchup? In terms of maybe going against the guy, or you having to guard him, that you just remember a matchup that was one of the most difficult ones, but also you obviously enjoyed.
I tell you what, I didn't enjoy a lot of them when I was in college. I can look back at them and and say it was fun at that time. But I had to play. I had to guard mostly all of the good wings. In the Big East at that time. From my freshman year, whenever I played, and then after that, I was a starter from like my sophomore year to my senior year. But I always guarded the best perimeter player, and so guarding guys like Allen Iverson, was extremely difficult with his just speed and his confidence and how everybody on the team kind of played for him and wanted to help him. But then had the guy guard guys like Ray Allen, who was bigger than me and was a really good shooter and who was just constant motion, always running off of screens. And guys like Rip Hamilton was the same. Kerry Kittles was the same. There was a guy at Pitt, Vonteego Cummings, who was really good. They ended up playing in the NBA. That was really tough, And so those guys, I always say that Allen Iverson was probably the most talented guy that I played against in the Big East,
Yeah.
and I didn't have to guard John Wallace, but we had no answer for John Wallace. He was such a mismatch for us. We had guys that were 6'10" inside the paint, and he was 6'7", 6'8", but
Yeah.
could play on the wing and play on the perimeter. And then also, I mean, you think about the guys that I played against on my team, like having to guard Shaheen Holloway every day in practice, and guard guys like Adrian Griffin and
Yeah.
Danny Hurley and all of those guys. So, you know, guarding the guys that I guarded every day in practice definitely prepared me to guard those guys in the game.